Hello and welcome to City Edition, the City of Bend's video news magazine. I'm Justin Feinstone. The Surface Water Improvement Project is the biggest infrastructure project in the city's history. The City Council will make some critical decisions in the coming months, and here's a breakdown of some of those options.
The Surface Water Project is one of the, if not the largest infrastructure project that the City of Bend has undertaken. It's important for the city because it really sets the table for economic development. It's the infrastructure that we need to support continued growth in the city.
We're up here at the City of Bend intake facility, which is on Bridge Creek. Behind me is a 90-year-old building that was built in the 1920s for the original surface water project. There's a small dam that captures water off of Bridge Creek, and we take the water in here through this building that houses some screens. The water in Bridge Creek originates miles upstream, basically comes out of springs that are at the base of Broken Top. So it's a spring-fed drainage basin that comes down to this facility here. Bridge Creek joins Tumalo Creek downstream of this intake facility and also downstream of Tumalo Falls.
Taking water from Bridge Creek does not impact Tumalo Falls in any way. We have a century-old water right that really prevents us from taking any more water than we need, and it restores the flow of Tumalo Creek. So Bend is fortunate enough to have two supply sources for water. We have the surface water stemming from Bridge Creek, and then our groundwater, about 50% on each source.
And it would be good to have both sources in case one became contaminated. It would be important that we have another source.
The advantage is that in the winter months, we can rely solely on the gravity surface water supply, which reduces our energy costs. In the summer months, when we have high peak demand, we have the advantage of then using our groundwater supply.
Two things have really instigated this project to be undertaken now by the City of Bend. The main one is the federal guidelines requiring additional treatment for our surface water. Even though City of Bend is award-winning water, some of the cleanest water in the nation, we are still required to meet the U.S. EPA federal guidelines for surface drinking water.
City staff have been talking to council over the last few years about treatment options, including UV as well as membrane. And this is a very significant decision with a lot of dollars associated with it, and so we want to make sure that council is receiving all the information.
And secondarily, we have, but just as important, we have pipelines that are from the 1920s and 1950s that are aging, and we're finding signs of deterioration. In the Forest Service land, there's trees growing over and on top of our pipe. On the private property, the pipeline runs through easements that have been encroached upon and built over, and that puts our pipeline at risk.
So there's definitely an enormous amount of fuels in the watershed to ignite a fire, and it's not a matter of if, but when a fire could occur. What we want to do is try to prevent the having to shut down either temporarily or permanently the watershed as a supply source for the City of Bend. So that factors into the decision on filtration and what's going to really help us keep that watershed operational in the event of a fire.
We're specifically looking at filtration, microfiltration, that will also address anything that could result from a fire and the effects of a fire in our watershed.
What's facing the council right now is to make a decision that's based on facts, some good information that our city staff is going to be presenting us. It's going to be done by engineers and everybody that's involved in the water situation in this community.
So for this system, we have about 1,000 feet of energy head that we could capture if we decide to go forward with a hydro facility. Some of the initial incentives that were on the table last year to encourage us to go forward with the hydro part of the project, even though some of those have gone away, there are still other incentives that we're looking at. No matter what, a hydro facility will always be a revenue generator.
An advantage that we have with this project is the timing opportunity with reconstruction of Skyliner Road. The county would like to reconstruct that road. It's on the Forest Service Capital Improvement Program, and we would like to put the new pipe in the road. So we want to make sure that this is all coordinated, and we're looking to have that occur sometime in 2013.
The water system and the sewer system here in Bend is paid by the ratepayers, which means me and you and everybody else that lives here in this community, including the businesses.
This is a significant project that requires some creative thinking and funding, and we are being very aggressive in applying for federal grants, asking for appropriations.
I'm very confident that the City Council that we have right now will reach a consensus on these issues and that we'll make a good decision based on sound facts.